Hello viewers, welcome to today's session. Today we will see and understand how do we create masters, accounting masters in Tally. Okay, now if you see my screen in the gateway of Tally, I have done some tweaking with the features. We will discuss about the feature a little later. Okay, so what I have done, I have disabled the inventory features so that we just concentrate on first the accounting features, what we also learned in our fundamentals of accounting. So that is why if you see here in the ERP screen, you have in the master section you have only accounts info, but by default whenever you create a company in Tally, whether you are creating the company in Tally.ERP or Tally Prime, by default, Tally will have the feature of inventory, the basic inventory feature enabled, and also the bill-wise detail enabled. So what I've done is that I've gone to the feature and I've disabled for us to currently understand the accounting aspect of it. Okay. So now we had seen in the one of the previous session that the gateway of Tally is where you do all your activities. Like I had mentioned that first for you to now start capturing the transaction, you have to have your masters. So we also discussed about the masters of group. So we now understand what a group is. We also understand what a ledger is. So we also know that a group, you only classify the associated or related ledger in the group, and ledger is the one where now you are going to create the required ledger for your organization and start capturing all transactions related to those ledgers. So first we will see in ERP, how do we create masters? So the accounting master. So if you see here we have this masters and we have accounting info, and when it's already selected and when you enter accounts info, so again you will see the navigation path from gateway of Tally. Now we have come into accounts info, and Tally is now giving you three options. One is the group, ledger, and the voucher types. So we will also discuss about the voucher types in a separate session. So first, group. So let's go inside group and see what is that we can do in accounts info for group. So the group is already highlighted. I am going to press enter, and now you see here you have option of creating your group. Okay, so and we know that Tally has already given us 28 groups. So out of which we know 15 are primary group, and now we understand what do you mean by primary group. And also there are 13 groups which are subgroups. Okay, so that also we understand now. Now believe me, 50% of the companies, the MSME segment in our country especially, uh, whatever is the default group Tally is providing, that is more than enough for these I mean, like majority of the companies, like I said, 50% of them really don't need any additional group. So the 28 groups which Tally gives, and even out of the 28 groups, believe me, at least 10 groups people are not going to use. So basically for a startup company, for a small company or a medium sized company, really you don't have to worry about creating the group. If in case if there is a requirement, we can create a group. I will also give an example of what is the requirement that we have so that we can create this group. Okay, now so group is already there, but in case you need a group, this is the option where you come to group, and we will see create group, display group, and alter group. So what are those actions that we can do out of these three things? And it is very, very logical, simple for us to understand, right? So creation of a group. So now you will see here uh, group, single creation, and multiple group creation. So that means one Tally gives the user option to create a group, one by one. Create one group, save it, then create another group. Or if you have multiple groups, subgroups, if you have multiple subgroups to be created under a parent group, then this becomes one single interface where you can start creating all those groups that you require and save it in one single screenshot. I mean, in one single screen you can save it. Okay? So we will see how do we create. And now first let me take an example of what would be the requirement uh, of the user creating a user defined group. So the 28 is the predefined group. So if you want to create a user defined group, so let me just take an example, very interesting example that many of you would require to create a user defined group. So now we know that Tally has given us the group called sundry debtors for all our customers, and we also saw that the sundry debtor is a subgroup under the group current asset. Now let us assume that in your business you have customers across India, and you would want to do analytics, or you want information of say, let us say zone wise. Let's say you want to break it up all your customer into four zone. Okay, north zone, south zone, east zone, and west zone, right? So you want to now see, okay, a lot of analytics you can do, like what is the which zone has maximum number of sales, and which zone you have outstanding which is larger. You can compare zone wise outstanding, and this is the advantage of having your chart of account designed in such a way so that you achieve your object which you intend to get easily and in a simple manner. Okay, so now let's say I want to create four subgroups, which is like north zone, south zone, east zone, and west zone. So what am I going to do? So that's my requirement. So already we know that if you see the complete hierarchy, it is going to be like this. Okay, so asset is my group. Okay, then under asset we had current asset. Okay, so which is a subgroup of your primary group. So this is your primary group. Okay, so now we had this current asset. Okay, now one of the subgroup under current asset is your sundry debtors. Okay, sundry debtors. Okay, now I want to create four subgroup. So what am I going to do? I can now under sundry debtors, I can create four groups. That is, I can have, okay, create a group called north zone, okay, east zone, west zone, and south zone. Okay, so the advantage we have already seen in one of our previous session, that the advantage of having subgroup is so you can get at a different level the aggregated information. So all your customers of north zone, you are going to classify when you create a ledger of your customer who belong to north zone. You really don't have to put it under sundry debtor because you already have a subgroup which you have user defined group created by you. So when you create this ledger, you will classify this under your north zone. Similarly, each of the zone. So the advantage is that all the outstanding of the party of north zone and each zone, you will get the total zone wise outstanding. You will get, you can also see zone wise sales that is made, all those information. When we come to the reporting, we will see this. I mean, the reporting is very powerful in Tally, and that's the magic of Tally. Okay. So now, if you want to see your total sundry debtors outstanding, your four zone total is the subtotal of your four zone is again going to get reflected here as your grand total. Okay, so this is the advantage. So in case if you want to create a group in Tally user defined group, so you can go to a single group creation, right? And you can say that north zone. Okay, Now under is very, very important. If you can recall, and it is very important for us to keep reflecting on this. So we had discussed that we have four primary group I just now showed you, and then all the subgroups under that, right? So selecting the appropriate group for your subgroup, or selecting the appropriate group for your ledger, Tally will automatically take that information and put them in the right financial statement. If it is a balance sheet item, by classifying them properly by the user, Tally will now take that information to the liability side of the subgroup of your liability based on the group you have selected, and also the asset side, similarly expenditure and income aspect of it. That is why this plays a very important role. And also Tally, there are a lot of intelligence built in Tally. So when we come to voucher description and understanding the different voucher type in Tally, I will show you what are the kind of controls that Tally has inbuilt inside the software, so that the user is not going to make a fundamental or basic error of accounting. That's the best part of Tally. Okay. So now under this, I know that this not zone I'm going to create. You can call whatever name, not zone customers, not zone debtors, whatever it is. Okay. Now under this, so I have to select sundry data. Now again, you don't have to, like use your arrow key, down arrow key, or you don't have to take your mouse and then look for it. So any word, and the best part here in Tally, if you see, you use the first word or the middle word or the last word, Tally will auto filter. Now, for example, if you see, I have my sundry creditors and sundry debtors, both starts with sundry. And if you recall, we had created our company name in an abbreviated form, basically because of the reputation of the name for more than one company. Similarly, here, what you can do is that if you start typing sundry, so till you enter SUNDRY, 6 characters, it is, I mean, like, you will not be able to select the right group. So the best thing that you can do, and quickly for you to select debtors, is that instead of typing sundry, just type debtors. DEBTO, right? See, now it's automatically, the moment you type this, it is already filtered, and it is very easy now to use your down arrow key and select. Okay. Now, uh, the other part we will discuss. We will come in the next session. We will discuss about the master creation, and how do we, and what are these options which are there. By enabling this option, what is the impact that you're going to see? By disabling this option, what impact it is not going to have, or how you can take advantage of these options for your business needs. We will see that. So now I'm going to now save this. So this is my single ledger creation option. So now I can just press escape. And now what is this display alter? Very simple. Alter is, in case while creating my group or while creating my ledger, if I have made a spelling mistake, or if I have selected the wrong group, the parent, which is the under part, if I've selected wrong this thing, or in case of my customer ledger or my supplier ledger or my bank account, there are additional details where you can capture. For example, in case of customer account, you can capture the address, the GSTIN, PAN of the customer, and various other information that you can capture, contact details and other thing. So initially, while creating the customer master, let us assume that you don't have that information. So you really don't have to wait for that complete information for you to get it so that you can create it. You don't have to wait. I mean, that's another a very nice thing about Tally, that, incremental, basically we call this as incremental implementation. right? So what is the basic information that is required? You can, capture that information. In case of a master, you capture that information, save that information, and start capturing your creating your other masters. And in case of a ledger, again, you really don't have to wait for complete information. Create with the basic info. What is the basic information? The basic information critical for you to create your master of group or ledger is that the name of the ledger and the parent, which is the under aspect of it. This two is very critical. Later on, you can keep, updating this information incrementally. So that is where the option of alter is going to help you. So I come to alter here, and now these are my default group. Now I have created one user defined group, that is my not zone. So I can just type. You don't have to use your mouse or your key arrow key. Just type north. So it is already selected. Now I enter, and you will see here that I can actually, I can modify the name in case of spelling mistake. And if I have selected wrongly, wrong group, instead of sundry debtors, let us assume that I have selected sundry creditors. Okay, I have selected sundry creditors. Now in my alteration mode, I can come here, and whatever is in the alteration mode, whatever is the group that I've already selected uh, prior, when I was creating the master, you will notice on the right hand side the cursor is already there on the previously selected master. So now in this case, let's assume if I had wrongly created sundry creditors as my group. Now I'm going to come to sundry debtors, enter, and then I'm going to save. And I hope that you people are remembering the keyboard shortcut for save. So the keyboard shortcut for save is Control A. So this is how I can use this alter option to alter my master information. Okay. Now what is this display? Okay. So display is where it's like your safe mode, right? So I'll let me select not so. So now I've selected. Now in the display option, Tally is going to only display your master for you to just cross verify and see whether you have created the master appropriately or as per the requirement of your organization, or any of the option where what is required for you, have you selected them. Now the best part here in the display, so if you don't want to alter, if you want to just see whether the masters that have been created is right, so use the display option. And the best part here is that even accidentally, if your hand falls on any of the key on your keyboard, nothing, no disturbance is going to happen. But whereas in the alteration mode, by mistake your keyboard goes and hits in the any field, the user defined field, then in that case it could, alter the information, which if you don't notice and save it, it is not, it is going to save the accidental alteration of the information. So but in case of a display mode, right? So I'm now just going to try to I'm just going to play piano on my keyboard. So anything, see, anything that I'm going to, any keyboard that I'm going to hit, right? So this is not going to disturb my master. So that's your display option. Now the same logic applies for multiple group creation, display, and alter also, right? So let's now create. So we have created one single uh, subgroup called not zone. In fact, as per our example, I am supposed to have three more zones, right? Now, instead of what we saw in the single creation, in the single creation, you create it and then save the screen, and then again you type your next group, save it. So independently, you are going to keep creating individually each groups or the ledger that you're going to create. But in case of if you want to do a fast creation, where you have multiple groups and you know that it has to go into this particular group, then you can use this multi creation. Okay, the multi creation, the hotkey for multi creation is R. So I press R, and just by looking at the screen, I hope it is very easy for us to understand that. First, now in the single creation of the group, we saw first Tally is asking you the name of your group. Okay, and then it is asking you under, so what is the parent group of the group that you are creating. Now in the multi creation, it is reverse, right? So now first Tally is asking you, tell me which is the parent under which you are going to create. Now, since I'm using multi, that means, I know that I have to create more than one subgroup, or in case of a ledger multi creation, I'm going to create more than one ledger. Okay. So my parent group is what? Oh, yes. My parent group is sundry debtors. Okay, so I'm going to select sundry debtors. Now, any number of group that I'm going to create, you will notice that on the right hand side where the under is there, Tally will actually pull out the group which you have selected on top, and it is going to capture there, and it will display so that that it is taking the right group. So I've already created north zone. So now I'm going to create east zone. Okay. So you will see it is sundry debtors, second ledger, west zone. Okay. The third ledger, south zone. Right. So now this way you can create any number of uh, groups. Okay. So now I'm going to enter, accept, yes, accept. So now it is already created all three groups in one single screen. I have created, and then I have saved all three one shot. Okay. So similarly, the display also, you can see now this multi-ledger display will really help you to see a particular group. Like for example, indirect expenses. In indirect expenses, you want to see what are the subgroups that you have created, or what are the ledgers that you have created. So you can go there, display, and then you can select sundry debtors, enter, and now you see it is going to give you the list of all the thing. But the best part for you is that chart of account is going to actually give you the hierarchical thing. So let's quickly go to chart of account and see how does this new user defined group is going to be viewed, or you can see them there. Okay, so I go to display list of account, right? And then if you see here, my east zone. Okay, not it always Tally always lists them in the alphabetical order. Okay, so you will see here sundry debtors is my predefined group. Then I have created east zone, north zone, south zone, and west zone. Okay, and you also notice that all these four names are in bold, which is an indication that it is a group, and also it is slightly intended to the right of your sundry debtors, which is an indication that these are your four subgroup part of your sundry debtors. Okay, so this is how you create a uh, group in your accounts info. Now, quickly, ledger creation. It is the same thing. I would just show you one simple example, right? So, ledger creation, you come here, and now you have understood. So, the other best part of Tally is that the design of the product is such that if you understand one. For example, one master creation, the same kind of experience you will get in all other master creations screen, except that the additional information related to that particular type of master might have one or two extra field, right? So in case of ledger creation, probably rather compared to group creation, you might have slightly one or two, but then the experience going to be the same. See, we are now in ledger creation screen. So again, you will see create, display, alter. Now we understand what single. Then multi-ledger creation, we also know how we can create multi and what is the function of display and alter. So let's just create one ledger in single, and we will try to create one in multi also. So I say create. Now let's say I want to create a ledger called red. Okay, or we will create that in multi. Okay, let's say I'm creating a ledger called my asset ledger called furniture and fittings. Okay, this is my ledger that I'm going to create. And now again we will discuss about all the other configurations. So in this session we will just try and understand how do you create a ledger, and how do you put or select the appropriate parent under for that particular ledger, so that it gets reported in the right statement on the right side of your financial statement. So now this furniture and fittings is the under is my parent. So what is the parent of my furniture and fitting? furniture and fitting is the asset of my organization. So we know that Tally is given us one group, default group, which is called as fixed asset. So I type fixed, just F I press, and fixed asset is selected. I'm going to enter here. Then I can press Control A, and the single voucher, the furniture and fixtures ledger is created. Okay, so this is how you create single ledger. Now, multi-ledger creation. Okay, so multi-ledger creation, you come here, right, and it's the similar kind of an experience like I told you, right? So first Tally is asking, tell me under which group you want to create multiple ledgers, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say indirect expenses, enter, and now all my ledgers under indirect expenses I can create. Okay, so for example, rent. So you will see, and in case if there is any opening balance, we will discuss about this entering opening balance and other thing in the next session. Okay, so for the time being, so let's just concentrate on how do you create your ledger and how do you put the right parent for your ledger. So it is now selected indirect expenses. Okay, then conveyance ledger. Okay, and then my printing and stationery. Okay, and then my salary. So this way, all my ledgers under sundry, all my ledgers under my indirect expenses, I can create them one shot. Ledger is created. Okay. So let's now quickly go to chart of account, that's list of account, and then see the ledgers that we have created. How is it going to, how are we going to see those ledgers there? So I just press escape, go to display, D for display. Then I'm going to press L for list of account. And if you notice here under fixed asset, the furniture and fitting ledger that we have created is already there. It is displaying, and you will notice here it is very easy now for you to understand the structure. Furniture and fitting, it is in italics, that means it is a ledger, and it is slightly intended to the right of fixed asset, which means fixed asset is the parent of this. Similarly, if you come here, indirect expenses, you have we created conveyance, printing and stationery, rent and salary. All four are ledgers because they are italics and they are under your indirect expenses, which is your parent group for these ledgers. Okay, now, in the next session, we will see what are the other advanced things that you can do in your multi-ledger creation, especially in case of ledger creation, and also we will see that what changes have happened in as far as Tally Prime is concerned about how do we create your masters. Okay, there is slight change, a slight or a different kind of an experience is provided, which we will see in our next session. Okay, so thank you all once again for being till the end. So thank you very much, and we will meet in the next session to understand more about the masters. Thank you.